All right, guys. The Karmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf case is very interesting. It's interesting indeed. It's a shame that Austin Metcalf lost his life. I saw in the news that the jury came to a verdict and they found Karmelo Anthony guilty of murder. So he ended up, they're saying he only got 35 years in prison, and after serving half of that sentence, he will be eligible for parole. So that's basically what's going on right now. A lot of people are outraged because when you go into the details of this case, and y'all gotta remember, these are teenagers, right? These were teenagers at a track meet. Apparently, one of the boys, including Austin Metcalf, they were like coming up to him or like ganging up on him in a sense. And they always talk about how much he weighed and all this stuff. These dudes have like, the dude was like 6'1", and then there was another guy that was like big, and they're kind of like coming around him. And I think everybody is hanging on to the fact that Anthony said, "Touch me and see what happens." And then I guess that's when Austin lunged at him, and then Anthony held the knife up or whatever the hell, and then ends up, unfortunately, stabbing Austin in the heart. And this was a what did they say? This wasn't like a vertical injury. This was like it was like a lateral injury. Anyways, y'all, I'm trying to like deduce it down as much as possible. I don't want this video to be long. Anyways, they're saying, yeah, he got stabbed in the chest, got stabbed in the heart. He unfortunately ended up losing his life and passing away. So because of this, a lot of people, the reason he was even found guilty in the first place is because a lot of people are questioning, like, why did he have a knife in the first place? And technically, it's against the law to have a knife on school property or on school grounds. But then people start getting into technicalities, and they're saying, well, technically, where they were at a stadium. Technically, yeah, they didn't count that as school property. And he was well within his rights to have a knife. Like, it was okay for him to have a knife. The issue is everyone is hanging on to the fact that they're like, why did he have a knife in the first place? So people think it's like a premeditation thing, and I'm like, okay, sure, whatever. My thing is, we have to talk about, okay, if there are these big burly dudes getting in your face, getting at you, and they're like coming at you, one of them lunges after you, you mean to tell me you wouldn't be like a little, like, you would put yourself up like this to try and defend yourself, or want them to back off? And there's a lot of things that go into this case. The way they had to pick the jurors, I heard the whole jury was like all white jury, and people said that played a part in why he got a guilty sentence. And it's kind of like, when I look into, because I just had to skim through, I read through an article just going through all the facts and details, and it's like, okay, yeah, you could try and say that he instigated the whole thing, but I'm like, it's looking like, from what I gathered, that unfortunately Austin and whoever else was around are the ones that instigated it. And we're only going off of what, teenagers are telling us, right? And then some of the adults that were there, right? You have some people saying, I guess, they're claiming that Austin, somebody is claiming that someone said that Austin didn't want to fight at all. They're making it seem like Anthony was the one egging it on. They're saying he tried to hide after he ended up stabbing Austin. It's like, that's what's going on here. So everyone's like painting this narrative that Anthony is the one that egged this whole thing on. So when you get that into the jurors' heads, then they start to tell you, oh yeah, he's not supposed to have a knife on school property, or he shouldn't have had a knife at the track meet in the first place. and did it, and all that getting into the people's heads. Unfortunately, yes, they were going to give him a guilty verdict. Now, from what I'm getting, I could see how, from where I stand, from the information I'm gathering, I could see how in the heat of the moment, you got people coming at you in your face, these big dudes around you, like, you're going to feel threatened, would you not? And yes, these people, I don't care, like, they are capable of doing anything. Yes, they could kill you. You could be killed with your bare hands, people. Like, I don't know. But my thing is, yes, he may have said that, but he could have said it out of self-defense to protect himself, to warn y'all. Like, it's kind of like, hey, stay back, I'm warning you. Like, don't come near me. And yet, like, of course, you can flip it either way you want to, but it's like, you have to think about, you got to put yourself in Anthony's shoes. And then we got to think about the intentions of Austin and whatever friends or track teammates were around in that situation, right? And then I'm also thinking about, I hate to play this card, but let's think about it for a second. Let's switch the roles and switch the races for a second. If it was some big black burly dudes coming after the scrawny 150-pound white boy, and say the white boy says the same words, use the same verbiage, and stabs one of them after they lunge after him, and then he stabs one of them, the big burly black kid dies. The police come, arrest him, take him away. Do y'all think that kid would he have even been arrested? And even if it was to go to court, do y'all think he would have been found guilty? You think he would have had the same guilty verdict as Karmelo Anthony? You have to ask yourself that. Would he have gotten the same verdict? Something like that's, and I know people say we shouldn't bring race into it, and no, I think this is racially charged. I think, why is the whole jury white? There is some unconscious bias here. I don't care about what no one says. Some of these people probably know the family. They probably got family, friends. This is something unethical happened here. I don't care what any of you say. You can try and justify it in your brain to make you feel better, to make you sleep at night. And I know that y'all can hang on to the fact that a young child unfortunately lost their life. No one should have to lose their life in these situations. But unfortunately, things do happen. The heat of the moment. People were scared. Things happen. Mistakes happen. The thing is, I really do believe if this was, the races were flipped, they would have gave that kid another chance. There wouldn't have been no murder sentence. If there was a murder sentence, he probably would have only had to go to jail for like what, a year or two, or they would have did it like that other case with this other lady. It was like a manslaughter case where she entered the wrong apartment somehow, and a dude was like sitting in his apartment, and the white lady, she was like an off-duty cop, she killed the guy, shot him. And the judge, a black judge, might I add, the judge was black, by the way, because we're not gonna, like, and that's what I think a lot of people were like, well, judges can't be biased. But even in that case, and I don't know if the jury was mixed, I don't know if there was a jury, I don't remember that case, I forgot, I need to look it up. But that lady only got 10 years, guys. This is a murder, took someone's life, and it was manslaughter, and she got 10 years. Karmelo Anthony, in a situation where his life could have been in danger, it could have been self-defense, all this stuff. Not could have, I really do believe it was self-defense. And they give him 35 years, not even manslaughter. Like, wow. But yeah, y'all let me know what you think about this video. This went on kind of long. Let me know if I missed anything. It's just it's kind of confusing to me. I do think people say it's not about race, but I feel like it is. It is a little. I don't know. Y'all let me know. Peace. Bye.